All right. Welcome to this edition of our of holiday yoga here. So literally you don't need to be doing anything special. I'm just wearing what I wore today, just some stretchy pants, a nice warm comfy shirt. If you've got water, I always suggest having that handy. If you've got yoga blocks, you can certainly bring those close. They're not a requirement. We're going to be doing a seated flow again today. So if you wanted to do this from a chair, make sure it's a chair that's not going to roll around, but that might be an option if you don't want to get down on to the floor. We're just going to move for like 20, 25-ish minutes. Again, this is not that serious. This is not that big of a deal. This is just us doing something kind to de-stress. It's almost the end of the week. It's almost Friday. It's almost the weekend. Maybe you're in the midst of a bunch of holiday stuff. Maybe you're catching this replay and it's nowhere near the holidays. That's fine. This is perfect for you. So, I wanted to make this a place of if you've had a bad day, I've had a crappy afternoon. And so I'm looking forward to just kind of calming down, getting recentered. So if you've had an exhausting day, if you've had a bad day, if you've had a wonderful day, this is still the place for you because it's all about coming back to ourselves, coming back into this space, into our body, letting our mind calm down just a little bit and doing something good for ourselves. So, we're going to get started seated. So, take a moment here, find a nice spot on the floor. I'm going to get myself comfortable here as I pop off screen. So I'm going to grab the space heater because it's just a little bit chilly in my yoga space here. So again, I want you to make it comfortable. So if that means grabbing the space heater, if that means grabbing a blanket or a pillow or throwing on that extra big comfy sweater, putting on some comfy socks, I wanted you to do that. I'm going to bring a block under my seat mostly because for me, I just like that feeling of my hips being a little bit higher than my knees because my hips are always tight lately, and maybe yours are too. But find that seated spot. So whether you're fully on the mat, whether you're on a cushion, whether you're on a block, whether you're in a chair, allow your arms just to rest on the tops of your legs. I want you to actively relax your shoulders, and maybe that means pushing them down because if you're like me, my stress brings those shoulders up. So actively relax the shoulders. I want you to unclench your jaw. Maybe again, relax it a little bit. Take a moment. Tell your forehead, okay, we're going to relax a bit here. Can we relax our belly? Relax into the chest. The floor and the mat is here to support you. So let yourself just kind of settle into that space as well. Eyes can close if that helps you find a little bit of peace in this moment, if this kind of helps shut out more of the noise. Or maybe just helps turn down the volume because you're not watching dogs and cats and kids and husbands and partners and everybody run across in front of you. We're just going to take a moment. First and foremost, find a little bit of gratitude as we get started here. I'm so grateful that you're joining me. Those of you who are joining live and those who are watching the replay, thank you, all of you. But most importantly, I'm grateful that I took the time today, threw on the clothes, rolled out the mat. I'm going to thank my body for just being present and moving me around in whatever way it feels we need that today. And now, just kind of give yourself a moment just to be in this space. So, for the next 20-ish minutes here, this is just for you. This is all about you. This is whatever you need. So let's start by bringing a little attention to our breathing. So if it helps to bring a hand to the belly and a hand to the chest, for me, when I want to get into that deeper breathing, I just kind of need that physical reminder. So I want you to take a nice deep breath in and deep breath out. I want my hands to rise as I breathe in and breathe out. And if that kind of helps tense you a little bit, let your hands relax. Filling up your lungs as you breathe in, releasing that air as you breathe out. How does it feel as you take maybe a slow breath in and out? Maybe deep breath isn't available to you just yet. Can you slow that breathing down? Can you take a moment and just be in that space of I am breathing. I notice and feel my breath. Or maybe just boiling it down to inhale and exhale. Just being present in this space at the moment. And because we're doing more of a seated flow, we're going to do a yin focused flow. Yin just meaning we're holding the poses for a little bit longer than we would in a traditional flow. Because tonight just kind of feels like a moment to sink in, to just give yourself that space to not focus and think about everything else, but to focus on our body, to focus on the stretch, to focus on how we're feeling. But we're going to do a little warm up first. I want our bodies to get a little warm before we move into that. So we're going to start by rolling those shoulders up and back. Now we want those shoulders up towards our ears. And then we'll reverse that. Take a couple of shoulder rolls forward or however that feels. Oh, that's good. Bringing the chin to our chest. Just take a moment. Feel that nice stretch down the back of our neck. And then we're going to go to the right to start. So just find a couple of circles here. So we roll that neck around, big, small, however your neck needs tonight, whatever you need to be aware of. Good. And then we're going to bring that head to the top. I want you to drop the head back. Now we're going to feel that stretch down the front of our neck. Good. And then to the center, and we're going to circle to the left or in the opposite direction. Remembering left and right is not really so important because we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So just letting yourself find a side that feels good, do the next opposite side the next time around. Good. We'll bring that back to the center. Inhale, let's reach those arms up, interlock the fingers, press those palms up and away. And then we're going to release the hands nice and slow, elbows wide. Feel that nice big stretch. Good for all of us people who have been on a computer all day, on a phone all day. Good. Release those arms down. Inhale those arms up. Right hand's going to grab that left wrist and we're going to reach over towards that right side. I want that nice big stretch to go down the left side of your body. Good. Back to the center. Left hand's going to grab that right wrist and now we're going to reach it over towards that left side. Good. Back to the center. And again, release the hands nice and slow. Elbows come wide. Feel that nice big stretch. Oh, good. And then hands are going to come all the way down. I want you to take it into some circles here. And this is less about it trying to look like anything and more just kind of moving the spine, moving the shoulders, getting a little bit into those hips here. Take a couple of deep breaths. Awesome. And now we're going to reverse. Circle it out or shape it out, however that looks. It doesn't have to be a particular kind of shape. Good. Coming back to the center, I'm going to come seated fully on the mat. So we're going to bring those legs out in front, hands come back behind. Take a moment. I just want you to rock those legs back and forth, take it side to side. Good. And then a little out to the front. Let's circle the feet. And then we'll reverse, circle that in that opposite direction. And then I just want a couple of in and out here. Just kind of bend and straighten that leg just a little bit since we've been sitting. Good. All right. So we'll settle ourselves back to center. We're going to take that right leg out. See, even I'm having trouble remembering right and left tonight. Tucking that left foot in, we're going to extend the foot. So foot comes back towards us a little bit, toes kind of towards the center. We're just going to bring that chest towards the middle here to start. Now, we're going to be holding each pose for about a minute, maybe a little bit longer. So, plenty of time to let yourself just kind of settle into that here. Chest coming forward. And it's okay if we're not going too far. Can we lengthen, like sitting up nice and tall, chest comes forward, shoulders are relaxed. Focusing on our breath, though, we want this stretch to make its way all the way up the back of our leg. So, what do we need to adjust here so that we're getting that nice big stretch? Now, if at any point you need to adjust, you need to pop out, you need to move a little bit, go ahead and do that. These holds can sometimes feel a little intense if we're not quite used to that. Good. So either keeping it to the center or we're going to walk it back, turn towards that leg, start to walk the hands, reaching for our toes. Now, it's okay if we can't get to the toes. That's not our end goal. Again, we're still wanting that stretch down the back of the leg. So, what does that look like in our body here? We're reaching the hands down. And again, keeping a loose eye on the clock. So, we're just kind of going by how it feels. Let yourself get that nice stretch down the back of the leg. And it's okay to challenge it. Kind of push yourself a little to the edge of that comfort zone, just so long as we're not hurting anything. That's what we don't want. We don't want it to hurt, but that little bit of challenge is going to be good. All right, we're coming back to center and we're going to that other side. So left foot out or maybe right foot out, whatever. Foot is tucked in, chest, toes kind of up and back towards us, or at least vaguely towards the ceiling. And we're bringing that chest forward here. So shoulders relaxed. What I don't want is us to collapse forward. So starting sitting up nice and tall, shoulders down and back, and then start to walk it forward so that we keep that nice posture. We don't let everything collapse in here. And just again, focus on that breath. If your brain starts to wander into what you know you need to do next, or what you know you want to do after this, or what am I supposed to have for supper, or any of a million things, you're like, thank you, thoughts. I appreciate that. I'll be back with you in 20 minutes, right? I'll be back with you at 6:30. Whatever that is. You don't have to completely dismiss the thoughts. That's never going to be possible to shut the brain fully off, but we can try turning down the volume. Good. Either keeping it to the center or walk it back, turning towards that left leg, reaching for the toes. Our whole point is so that we can focus on what we want to focus on. All those other distracting thoughts are always going to be there, but how can we bring that focus on, oh, I want to feel it more in this part of my leg. Maybe I flex my foot a little bit more. Maybe I reach down a little bit further. Maybe I grab some other props that I might need. That's where we want to bring that focus, that on, okay, what does my body need today and in this particular practice? Because that's always the point. It's not, we're not practicing for what we think it should be or what we want it to be some days. It's for where am I right now and what would be the most benefit to me. Because it's okay to want to practice that benefits you. That's kind of the goal, is for it to benefit you. Wonderful. We're coming back to the center and we're finishing with the legs in that wide forward fold. So starting by grounding the seat, chest is nice and tall, shoulders are relaxed. We're going to walk the hands forward. So again, little flex in the feet because we're getting the back of the ankles into the calves and into our shins. So hands to the center. Hands can reach to our legs. Hands can come back behind us. But we're adding that inner thigh stretch now. So we're still hitting the backs of the legs here as we breathe in and out, but we're adding that inner thigh stretch. And it gets into a little bit of that outer hip, maybe into the arms. So many different variations here. And the hold we're focusing on is where our legs are. Our arms can kind of move around a little bit, especially if you're new to a yin style of practice. It can feel a little overwhelming that we're holding these poses for so long compared to maybe some of your faster flow classes. But in the end, I think you'll find them really relaxing, really beneficial because it allows you to settle into this space. It allows you to settle into that stretch so that you can start to get some gains from it. You can start to feel some progress in your practice here. Good. We're going to walk it back. Let's finish with some butterfly. Bottoms of the feet towards each other. And then I promise we're going to roll onto our back. So either scooting the feet towards you, scooting yourself towards your feet, whatever feels appropriate, or keeping the feet far away. Sometimes that can be a good stretch. What do you need today? Another great option is to grab a block, bring it underneath your legs. If your hips are really tight, giving your legs somewhere to rest and relax on will allow you to let your hips relax. That allows you to start making some progress here. Can we breathe into that stretch? Can we sit up nice and tall? Maybe we will, again, let the eyes close. Relax the jaw, relax the forehead, relax the legs. Let yourself just be in this space for just a moment here. Giving yourself this time just to be you. You are worthy of taking this time for yourself today and always. Didn't have to do anything special to get this time, just had to show up. And I'm so very grateful that you did. So just get a few more breaths here in our butterfly. And then if you've got a block, I'm going to suggest bringing it to somewhere handy for you. Again, not necessary, not a requirement. You're still going to get some benefit out of the stretch, I promise. We'll bring those legs forward. Take a moment. If you need to windshield wiper them, because we're going to roll onto our back. So as we roll on back here, we're going to let your head relax to the floor, bend to the knees, walk the feet back towards your sit bone here. Adjust your ponytail, adjust your hair if you need to. And hands down to our side. We're just going to take a little bit of a flowing bridge here. Again, not a yin pose necessarily, but I just want us to open up the legs, open up the hips, get into that low back just a little bit before we come into our final kind of poses here. So here's where I'm suggesting if you've got a block, we're going to grab that. So as you bring your hips up, I want you to slide that block into that spot of your low back. So kind of that space right between the top of your rear end and your back. You'll know where it feels comfortable. Again, if you don't have a block, no big deal. That's not that maybe not what feels good tonight. So we're going to bring that right leg in. Left leg is going to relax. We're bringing the block in just to get our hips a little bit higher to allow that hip flexor to relax. Now, if you wanted to put like a folded up pillow, a rolled up blanket, just to lift your hips just the littlest bit, because this may feel too intense. That is a great option. Or just keeping your back flat on the floor. That's still going to let that hip flexor relax. It's just maybe not as intense. And that's all I'm trying to say. Intensity is what, maybe is not what you're needing tonight. Maybe you really do just want to lay on the floor kind of in your shavasana pose and just be like, this is where I'm going to be until we're done. I love that. That's awesome. If you want to go into child's pose, if that feels kind of comforting to you tonight, awesome. I love that too. If you wanted to hug both knees to your chest and do a little rock side to side, that might be another great option if that feels good and appropriate to you. I just want you to find those places and stretches and spaces where you can relax here. Again, we're not taking this too seriously. I don't need to watch the clock super close. We'll get it so it feels about even on each side, because now we're going to switch. So we're going to bring that left knee in, allow that right leg to relax. Now let the foot relax, let the leg relax. and just breathe. If it helps again to close the eyes, in most of these yin poses, if it helps to let your eyes close, do that. And maybe my constant little stream of consciousness thought is distracting you enough to kind of let you focus on the stretch. Again, if you need to just grab the pants, if you need to bring a strap around the back of the leg, I didn't mention that earlier. If that helps you support that leg a little bit as you let yourself relax into that pose, that's a great option. Let's take 2 more nice deep breaths here on this side. Always sigh it out if you need to, groan it out if you need to, little shout out if you need to. This is the privacy of your home. 100% do what you need to today. Good. We're going to bring both feet back to the floor. Lift those hips up. Roll them down to the mat, knees to our chest. We're just going to take a little rock side to side. Good. All right. So again, we're keeping that right knee to our chest. Again, we're going to let that left leg relax, but we're going to take it into our twist here. So we're going to draw that right leg across the body. I like to let my right arm come out to the side just to remind myself I want my shoulders as much as I can to stay on the mat, chest towards the ceiling. This right knee doesn't need to come anywhere near the floor. Another option to bring a block or a pillow or a little step stool if your leg needs somewhere to rest. That's a great option too. You might have a little snap, crackle, and pop in that back. That's okay. We're not forcing it. We're not trying to make our back pop, but you're going to also get a nice little stretch through the hip, through the side. This also is great for the spine. It also does a little bit of a ringing sensation for the midsection, so kind of wrings out the stress and the tension maybe in that belly, in our chest. But this will open the chest. So many things are going on in one fairly simple looking pose that that's the benefit of letting ourselves kind of stay in this pose slightly longer is that we can start to feel all of that. We can start to make some adjustments. So maybe you want a little bit more in the hip. So maybe that means bringing that leg down more or bringing that leg up. Good. We're coming back to the center. Now we're going to switch sides. Same thing. Left knee comes in. Here we go. Let's find that twist. So again, adjust that left leg. It doesn't have to be all the way up. Maybe it feels, ooh, that one had a little pop on it. Maybe it feels better bringing it a little bit lower. That left arm can come out to the side. Chest can come towards the ceiling. And breathe. Breathe. Loving this for you. Take your time. Again, if you need to grab onto the pants or bring a strap or a towel around the leg for a little bit more support, that's a great option as well. Allow yourself just a couple of nice deep breaths in and out. Good. Last couple of breaths here. Oof. Can feel this in my low back tonight. Been sitting funny in the chair again. That's usually what it tells me. Wonderful. We're coming back to the center one more time. Bend the knees, kind of walk those feet back. Let's take some windshield wipers here from this position on our back. Float those legs side to side. Wonderful stuff here. Good. We're going to straighten the legs, send those arms up and overhead, and just find this nice big full body stretch, kind of like that first thing in the morning stretch that kind of wakes everything up, stretches everything out. This time we just want to stretch everything out so that we can come into our relaxation. So as we close with our shavasana here with some rest and relaxation, if you want to stay on your back, certainly do that. If it feels better, you can bend the knees, walk the feet a little bit wide, let those knees drop together. Legs can be extended. If you want to roll on your side, roll onto your belly. If it feels better to come back up to seated, do that. The whole purpose of our closing pose is to find what feels relaxing. So take a moment to find that. Grab that sweatshirt, throw on a blanket, bring a pillow under your head, under your knees. How can you feel some relaxation for our final few moments here? And then I will be quiet for just a moment. You're going to close your eyes if you want. Relax the body, release the tension you're holding on to, sink into the floor, the space beneath you. Relax your breathing and just close with a quiet moment for yourself here. So if you need to, stay here in this space, in this quiet for as long as you like. If you're feeling ready, give yourself a moment to kind of wiggle the fingers and toes, start to move the body a little bit. Maybe start taking a couple of deep breaths in and out. Take your time here. We'll meet back in a seated position, but again, no rush. You don't need to get here quite right away. Take as much time as you need. And once you find that seated spot, if you're already there, take a moment. Are there any last stretches that you want to add that might feel good and comforting in your body that you are going to head back out into the rest of your day? Or maybe like me, you need to readjust your leggings here. Let you head back into your day feeling calm, rejuvenated, and ready to tackle whatever comes next. So, thank you so much for joining me. Thank yourself for showing up. Thank your body for moving you around. And thank your virtual classmates, those who are here live and those who are joining us virtually via the replay. I appreciate you always popping into my classes, whether you stayed for 5 minutes or the whole time. Thank you for doing something good for yourself. And head on over to authenticvictories.com if you want more fun ways to work with me and kind of not only expand your yoga, but expand your self love and self care practices. So enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you next Tuesday for our holiday yoga. So make sure to take extra good care of yourself, drink some water. Eat something good, get some sleep, enjoy a cookie for me, and I will see everybody soon. Thank you.